Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, January the 2nd, and this is the Futures in 5. Taking a look at this, when did I do this? Maybe last week, uh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Can't remember. But we do see the auction vacuums. We were up here looking at this auction vacuum to give us resistance, which it did. And now we are looking at auction vacuums here, which give us some measure of support. So we're battling against the zone. That's something for us to look at. We could move right through this area and down into the second auction vacuum, but the slope of motion tells us that our pullbacks are going to be buy zones today. We are sitting, actually, let's change this very quickly. We are sitting still below the 2-week VWAP. Normally I would look at a weekly VWAP, but the 2-week VWAP seems to be a little bit better because of the limited volume and participation in general. So what we are looking at is potentially this motion here. If it stalls out, we're going to head down into this auction vacuum here with the price acceptance region sitting really somewhere around this zone. But we do have momentum in our favor. So what we're going to look at is how well it holds up over this area. And for the intraday trader, that's going to mean bullish opportunities to that upside pressure event. Let's take a look at the NQ. Same sort of thing going on here. I thought about readjusting this Fibonacci, but I'm going to leave it as it sits. We've got an auction vacuum here. We have a price acceptance region down here. And so right now we are still in the zone of, do I hold this area or do I fail it? This chart appears to be at a critical point in general. So what do we expect? We have upward momentum showing here, and we can see upward momentum overall, but downside pressure into support. That means that our pullbacks are sitting as buy zones. Let's take a look at this new VWAP reading and see how different it is. Should be well below the VWAP here as well. We certainly are. And so that tells us that our bounce action events are going to be into a relative resistance zone, and you can see a tremendous amount of congestion sitting up here before the profiles fill in and make things just a little bit messier to see in general. So pullbacks into resistance, that's going to be the order of the day. That's what we're going to watch. Big pivot area right here in terms of a ton of volume sitting inside of these profiles. So that's going to be the likely tail here. Here's what we should expect: a punch up into this region and then a fade, because we are in a very nasty patch. But if the fade holds higher, we'll finally get up into this auction vacuum. Really, we just got to the edge of it before we rejected the prior time, and it could mean that we have a little bit more upside in the process. Taking a look at the YM, same sort of thing, bounced right off the price acceptance region of the prior time price opportunity tool from Motive Wave here, and now holding up over this edge. What's likely that we bounce into the old price acceptance area, which would feel a little bit like price rejection. If it goes up a little bit higher, we have the same problem here, where price acceptance between the two pockets of low volume give us our rejection zones. For some of us, this is a little difficult to navigate mentally, but just remember, if it's price acceptance in the beginning and you lose it, it becomes price rejection. It's just a door that's getting closed. You can't go back through. If you hold an auction vacuum and it punches up as it holds the vacuum, it's going to move into the next area of either acceptance or rejection. It's just the way it runs with volume. All right, so we've got price acceptance here, we've got a small price acceptance here, and of course this is intraday motion we want to watch. The loss of this area is very likely to push us into the acceptance zones in the YM. Oil, very, very noisy, neutral zone behavior according to our custom system sitting in here. And so that means our bounces are still going to find sellers. Notice, key area of old price acceptance becomes rejection. All right, that's a nice, easy way to learn. Hey, listen, The only way you get good at this stuff is by practice, and practice does not mean trading live money, okay? This is a region here. Let's see what my edit button gives me. All right, that's price acceptance, but this is clearly an auction vacuum, and it's desperately trying to keep us out of that region. All right, so that's really what we want to look for in general, how well we hold support, how well we fade off resistance, and it's probably going to keep in this pocket for a little bit of time. That's my suspicion. All right, I've called this chart long for a month of Sundays, it feels like, and it actually is doing exactly what it's supposed to. I have it sitting on a daily chart first, so you can see how big this Fibonacci is. Oops, in this formation. It's way up here at these high zones in this region, and now we've got a retracement. So what are we? We're at the 50%. Now, this is not a rolling composite contract. This is the actual contract of the day. And so what we're looking at is the current motion. That is going to be an auction vacuum right there. This is price acceptance. It breaks, loses the ability to hold the region, and then collapses. We can see that that is very likely as a general target space if it can get out of this area, which is the edge of the auction profile. And that's where it's sitting right now. We can go to a 5-hour chart, see what's happening from our formation in general. You can see we're well above the VWAP, well above the adaptive moving average. We've got everything telling us, hey, listen, this is holding. And so now this area at 1285 is really the first resistance zone that we've blown through. And so we should pull back and attempt to hold it again. If it pulls back and bounces, then you've got continuation. Otherwise, it could drift easily down into these spaces here. All right, as more folks talk about the Fed not being able to raise the rates and the words of caution getting much stronger around the market, gold continues to rally. It is in a monster move. That is the futures in 5, albeit in a lot longer than 5 minutes today.